And I got this email and it said, "Oh my goodness." And that was the subject line. And in it, she said, "Listen, I was not excited about this. Like, I kind of was like, oh, I really don't like truffles." She goes, "But I'm telling you, I'm obsessed. Like, these are so different. They're so unique. They're so amazing." And it kind of just, it worked. So you got to taste them. And now she's like, "Okay, we're going to use you." I'm like, "Okay."
Welcome to YMI Talking, a podcast where the guests are so good, you'll wonder why the host is even talking. In each episode, you will hear one of the leaders of the Lehigh Valley's vibrant business hub. They will tell you the keys to their success, the mistakes they've made, and what they have in store for the future. Here is the host of YMI Talking, from YMI Insurance, Jimmy Honachik.
All right, that is me. I am the host, Jimmy Honachik, and I am here with a special first-of-its-kind episode, or two episodes, I guess. I couldn't be more excited. I have a husband and wife power couple here, and we're going to make two episodes out of it. First, we're going to start with Brooke Dietrick, and then we will go to Ryan Dietrick. Both have incredibly interesting stories to tell. They're doing incredible things in the Valley. And it's going to be awesome. This is, like I said, first of its kind, super excited. So Brooke and Ryan, thank you guys for coming on. So absolutely, absolutely. The first thing I'm going to start with is the background. It was the first thing I noticed. Tell me what's going on there. It is so much cooler, as you can see, than my background. So what is it? Where are you? What's happening there?
So we are sitting at actually Truffle Bar's store. And this is a kind of that faux green grass background with a neon light behind us that says hashtag everyday I'm truffling. It's kind of like our tagline that we use here at Truffle Bar. So we're kind of propped up against it. And yes, the store is open, and if someone walks in, it might get a little awkward, but yes, that is the background.
So every day I'm truffling. How does one start a truffle bar? Well, let's start with the Truffle Bar. That is your new shop. Tell me what it is and sort of how you got into it.
So basically, it is a Truffle Bar is my business that I started, our business now, back in 2018. I actually was a school counselor at William Allen High School for 15 years. And in 2018, I actually started the business with a partner. And we just kind of were sitting there. We were both counselors, and we were kind of like, hey, like, let's start a business. And I used to make these truffles that I would bring in for like the staff, just like on days that people could eat something sweet, and people just started being obsessed with them. Came from a recipe I found online. And it kind of just turned into something bigger and better. And now my partner is no longer, but this partner exists now. He gets to put up with me. Yeah, and we did a couple pop-ups, and then it kind of came to the point where like we need a kitchen that we have full access to, like a commercial kitchen. And we kind of decided, why not open up a retail location? So that's kind of where we're at now, and we opened in May.
That's very cool. That is helpful. You need one of those in your corner. But I heard pop up, and like I feel like you have to be a certain level of cool to start a pop up shop. Like they don't let you do it unless you are cool. Tell me about the pop up shop experience. Like, where were you? Where did you do it?
So just so you know, I'm not cool, and you don't have to be cool to do a pop-up. When it was like downtown, downtown Allentown, when they, and Ryan could speak more to this, but when they were trying to get everything built up in Center City around like where the PPL Center is, they were offering these pop-up shops to kind of promote small businesses coming to the area, so you could test out your product to see if you actually had a legitimate product so that you could take it to the next level. So they had retail locations, small, larger ones. You could do it for a week. You could do it for a month. You could do it for 3 months. And you kind of just like came into the store, set up your own thing and went from there. So the first one we did was on 6th Street. And it was like right off of Hamilton Boulevard on 6th Street.
Across from the theater down there.
Yeah, across from the theater. And we were there for 3 months. And it was during like the holiday season. We kind of had events there. It definitely started. It's now something that it didn't start as. We had different size truffles. We had, little cutout business cards. I mean, it definitely was very basic. And then we did another pop-up, and I think there was one more. So we did 3 pop-up locations down there before we were able to take it to the next level.
The second pop-up was in the alleyway in front of the downtown market that they have in Allentown. So in the alleyway, it was right next to the radish place that was there. We took a spot there, and that was, I think, a full month. And then the
over
third,
Christmas.
the third time was inside the market, kind of popping up inside there. And, it's been great because, first off, we made a ton of connections doing that, and became friends, lifelong friends with a lot of people, like the guys from Batch, Rick and Manny there, and then Zahara, we became friends with them, Sam there. So it was nice because we kind of got the vibe. It was perfect timing as well, because that's when ADP had made one of its first moves downtown, where they took a chunk of their workforce and moved them downtown. So we were a fan favorite of a lot of the ADP employees, which was nice, and they became kind of lifelong customers as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And so they've followed you to your new location. Talk to me about how you found this location, how you decided to set up shop here.
So that's a good question. We were supposed to take a space at Riverport Market. It was actually one of like another type of markets, kind of like the Easton Public Market or the Quakertown Trolley Barn Market. They were going to do one in Bethlehem, and I had signed on to do that. That was kind of my goal. And it just never came to fruition. So we live probably about a half a mile away from where the location is, which is on West Tillman Street, kind of near the Turnpike entrance. And Ryan, of course, doing commercial real estate, we drive by this all the time. And he was like, well, I think you should take a look at this. And my immediate answer was no. No. I just kind of was
Why?
like,
Why was that your immediate answer, though?
Because that's because he suggested it. And that's my immediate answer to everything. A, he suggests, and B, to everything. It's just no. So I kind of have this theory that if you say no, you can always change it to a yes. But if you say yes, you really can't go back to no. So I started with a no. And then we came to see the space, and it was actually, I was like, okay, yes, we're good. We could do this. It kind of had an initial setup, and we definitely changed it into our own. And I brought my vision here, but a lot of the stuff we were able to kind of keep in place, which kind of made a lot of sense for a small business, because then it cut my costs as far as like a fit out, right? So like, this is my first retail location. We don't want to go crazy. Let's try to make this work. And we took a 3-year lease, and that's kind of how it all happened.
That's great. And how long have you been in this location now?
So we opened the Wednesday, I think it was May 10th, the Wednesday before Mother's Day. That was like my goal. Kind of went through the permitting process really quickly. And I think it took 45 days to open, from like permit to start to finish to like getting everything done.
Wow.
So we've been open. Yeah, I pushed. I was like, we got to get it done, because I wanted to hit Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Mother's Day was a huge weekend for us. It was great.
Right.
So it kind of worked out perfectly. So it's been about June, July, 3 months since we've been open, almost 4 months.
That's great. And who are your competitors? Like, I think like you started this. There's no one else started doing this, are there?
I don't think anyone is a competitor. I don't look at anyone as a competitor. I just think that we're all in kind of like the same pool, if you will. Like I definitely just focus on one product right now, at least. And getting into the holiday season, I'm going to start bringing a couple other things on board. But it's truffles, and it's just different flavors of truffles, and they look very different. there's definitely like your Josh Early candies, which I love. Full supporter of
Right.
them. And there's the, Choco Premise Made, who's amazing. I mean, love their chocolate
Yeah.
covered pretzels. There's, Choco Diems in the Easton Public Market. They focus on a lot of different stuff. And we always tell people ours just tastes different. And it could be good for you, it could be bad for you, but ours just tastes different. So, there's enough business to go around in Lehigh Valley. Lehigh Valley is huge.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're
Yeah.
taking business away from anyone. We're just kind of bringing more people out,
Yep.
It's a little bit different of a vibe here too. It's more, it's like a fun vibe when you come in here to the store. We always have music playing. Obviously, you can see like we talked about before, the hashtag behind that. It's kind of like a photo wall. Normally, there's a couch that sits in front of them. A lot of people take pictures in front of that, kind of post it on social media. So it's not like an average just chocolate shop. We kind of have people told us we have like a cool vibe when you come in.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it all starts with the product, right? It is that truffle. How did you come up with the recipe to start it? Like you said, it was a big hit at the school. What was the origin of you making truffles?
So actually, my cousin would bring these, a recipe that she got online. She would make these and she would bring them to family events. And then I started making them, but I started putting like a different twist on them. So I've always I remember I used to make cheesecakes all the time. And I used to be like, okay, I love mint chocolate chips. So let me do Andy's mints, put that as the base on the crust, like do different things. So I took I took the recipe that was online because you can't what's the word I'm looking for? This is good. Not plagiarize, but you can't trademark. You can't trademark a recipe, right? So like cupcakes and things like that. So I took the recipe. I used different chocolate. I started adding different oils, more premium products to it. I started like just playing around with different flavors and just thinking outside the box. Like I would walk around in a grocery store and be like, okay, well, I could use that. And then I could mix it with that. And then it could come up with a flavor, So that's kind of how it all really got started. It was just me being creative with what I could change about the product. And then to make it taste better. And then he was my taste tester. So it worked.
That's a nice job for you, Ryan.
900 pounds. Yeah, correct. And that's why I'm 900 pounds, because she just forced me to get flavors to try. And I don't have
I was going to ask Brooke. I was going to ask Brooke if she has a favorite flavor, but it sounds like I should ask you. Is there a favorite truffle that you have there?
For myself personally, it used to be the dark raspberry flavored one. I would just go to town on that thing. But now she introduced, since we opened the shop up, she introduced a classic cheesecake. And I've always loved cheesecake growing up. And like that to me, it's above the rest of them in my opinion. I love the cheesecake.
All right. Well, I'll have to try all of those. You guys clearly have like a great relationship and it's worked well together. How did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys come to be? Take us back to, I guess, Ryan and Brooke meeting.
So Ryan and Brooke, strangely, I think we actually met each other or probably were around each other when we were 13, but we never knew. We didn't know who each other's were. Yeah. But I went, like I said, I was a school counselor at Allen High School, went to grad school at Kutztown, got my master's degree there. And then that summer, I started working in one of our family friends' delis that was in it's called Corporate Commerce Center off of Tillman Street. And it just so happened that his family business was in that deli or in that building, not that deli.
Yeah.
So he would come down every day for lunch with his mom, so I met his mom right away. I knew what I was getting into, with his mom, with like some other family, like with the workers that were there. They would get lunch. He'd stand there for about 15 minutes talking to me. While I was trying to work, and I was like, I gotta work, like, let's go, let's keep it moving. And probably I would say about a month in, I don't even know how long it was, probably was a month in, he came in. I remember thinking to myself, if he doesn't ask me out today, like, I'm just going to ask him out. Like, this is ridiculous. You keep taking up my time. I'm trying to work here. He came in. He stood at the cash register again for another 10 minutes talking about how we had this person in common, that person. And then he walked out. And then I went out after him and I said, hey, do you want to go out for a drink one time or one night? And he
Yeah.
said, sure. And then he handed me his business card.
I'm smooth.
Whenever you can drop a business card, you got to do it, you know? But Brooke, I mean, you sound like when you want something, you go and get it. Whether it's this truffle bar, whether it's Ryan, you're not one to sit back and kind of let things happen.
Yeah, I would say a lot of friends and family would say I'm pretty blunt, pretty bold, and I'm definitely a workaholic. A lot of our friends, one of our closest friends the other day said to me on the phone, like, you're just one of the hardest workers I know. Like, you just don't stop. And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I have, it's not so much energy. I just feel like I just want to be successful in whatever I do. And I especially want my kids to see that. I want them to see that I'm a hardworking mom, and that, even if it's a stay-at-home mom, a woman who does whatever, like, just want them to see that it's hard work. It's not easy, and providing for the family, it's not easy work, and we're in this together. Growing up,
Yeah.
my parents, they're entrepreneurs. Like, my mom used to own her own nail salon. My dad owns his own textile company with my brother. So, like,
Shout
it's
out
kind
to
of,
Nick of Time Textile.
yeah, it's kind of, it's in my blood, and I just can't sit still. You know what I mean? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure it'll catch up to me at one point. But yeah, I was a counselor at one point. I did real estate. I've done real estate for 16 years. I'm still doing it. I just had a closing this morning. And I do
Wow.
residential. He does commercial, and
you're a
now
mother.
I'm a mom, and I have the business. So yeah, but I have a supportive husband who fully supports
Yeah.
everything that I do, that we do.
And we, with all
That's
her endeavors that she has and happening, we find ways to make it work. It's, there's days where I come in and I open the store for her if we don't have anybody on staff or somebody calls out and she's got other things to do. We're just constantly trying to help each other, and it's obviously that's the goal of any relationship. But there's times where she's going to be during the holidays. I'm probably not going to see her
Nope.
very much at all until January once the holiday season starts. I'll be the one running the kids here and there, making sure they're getting fed, this and that. And then, she does the same for me when I'm busy or if I'm on the road doing stuff and things to that effect. So we work very, very well together on that aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. It's hard to balance all of that, right? And I was gonna sort of ask what your secret was, but I think we found it. It's you two are better together than you are separate, right? You guys help each other and are there and are supportive, and there's so much to be said for that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think he makes me, again, this all would not be possible if he didn't say, why not this? He pushes me outside of my box,
Right. Right.
which is
Yeah.
really important. And he fully supports anything I ever want to do, and I do the same. If we can make it happen, we're going to make it happen. Like, that's just kind of our mentality with stuff.
And in the relationship,
Yeah.
I'm the risk taker generally,
Mm-hmm.
and she's more conservative. And I like to push that every once in a while to get her, like she said, out of her comfort zone, push her out of the box. And I think this I kind of pushed her to add a little retail component to her business, because before it was a lot of corporate gifts, and she does that in the holiday season and actually throughout the year. We have dentists, we have oral surgeons, we have law offices that order from her, even real estate agents that order these boxes for closing gifts or gifts for their clients, their patients, different stuff like that. And I told her, I was like, if you're going to build out this commercial kitchen, let's add a little retail aspect. It just could be, icing on the cake. Let's see what happens. And so far, it's been fantastic. We've had such amazing support from friends and family throughout the area, and even like strangers that just come in and just they try these truffles, and they take a picture in front of the hashtag, and they're like, we're going to promote you guys like crazy.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So it's been fun, and I'm a big, so is Brooke, but both big people, if that makes sense. We love being around people, talking to them, learning about them, kind of like when you come into the shop here, it's like you're a family and you're friends when you come in. We're asking if we recognize you, we're asking about the family, or how your job's going, how everything's going. It's more of like a personal experience than just coming in from point of sale to walking out. So we kind of try try to incorporate people into what we're doing.
And that's something I didn't even think about. I'm selfishly thinking about eating all the truffles myself, but what a great gift that is, right? Like a business gift, just ordering a set of truffles and sending that to someone. I didn't even think about that, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, we have it's coming up on the holiday season. So in previous years, I've had a handful of companies that have ordered. So we ship nationally. So
Oh,
I have
wow.
one company that like had last season in the last year for Christmas sent about 200 boxes out. And now that we're more
Wow.
visible to people, we're hitting up and they're reaching out to us, like Ryan said, like, there's dentists or oral surgeons or a financial wealth management company that I've worked with that even
Insurance
they hand
advisors.
deliver. Yeah, insurance, exactly. But also like we've Pediatric Cancer Foundation of Lehigh Valley we worked with. We customize truffles.
Wow.
We customize labels for the boxes so it looks like it's coming from you, courtesy of us. There are so many different options. And it's so strange because we actually dropped off one at a law firm. And sorry, people are coming in. Hi. How are you? Oh, good. I'm sorry. Okay, yes, I'm on a podcast. Um, sorry about that. So
No, no.
we dropped them off, so that they could taste them. And I got this email and it said, "Oh my goodness." And that was the subject line. And in it, she said, "Listen, I was not excited about this. Like, I kind of was like, oh, I really don't like truffles." She goes, "But I'm telling you, I'm obsessed. Like, these are so different. They're so unique. They're so amazing." And it kind of just, it worked. So you got to taste them. And now she's like, "Okay, we're going to use you." I'm like, "Okay."
And
Yeah.
like she alluded to the customization. I mean, like she said, you could do logos on the boxes. You could do custom flavors. So she's done that for weddings before, where somebody came in and wanted tiramisu flavored truffles for the wedding. So she invented the tiramisu flavor, came out with that. Colors, different things like
Wow.
that. Kind of we're always trying to evolve and have something new for people to try or have. Like she started a couple weeks ago, actually a couple months ago now, ladies' nights. So similar to like you go to like a paint and sip where it's BYOB. She's done this now where ladies
Yeah.
come in with a group of their friends. They bring in wine. We provide a charcuterie board for them, and they actually make the truffles in the back. Brooke shows you how to make them, how to decorate them, how to dip them, and it's been wildly
Get
successful.
out.
Yeah, we threw our first birthday
Yeah.
party
For our daughter.
Yeah, albeit it was for our daughter. But we're going to start offering birthday parties for kids where they can invent their own flavor coming in, and then when they come back for the birthday party with their friends, they make that. So again, we're always trying to have something new, something.
Does it
exciting.
have to be for kids? Can it be for
No,
36-year-olds?
we can
When you're
definitely host
turning
a party.
37, you better have it here.
Yes. That sounds awesome. The idea of like being able to be creative, make that flavor that you want, and then get to taste it all in the same session. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So
They're enjoying it.
yeah, good. So I mean, we're bumping up on time, and I know there are a couple items I wanted to hit that I don't know a lot about. So let's start with Shark Tank. Tell me a little bit about Shark Tank and what happened there.
So it just so happened that I applied, and this was even before we opened up our location. I think it was like a year ago or a year and a half ago. It was during the pandemic. I had applied, and it was funny. I got a call, and they're like, "Okay, we want you to submit. Like, you're going to the next stage in the process." And the next stage in the process was actually creating basically what you see on Shark Tank. So you see someone, giving their spiel, showing you different things and what the product is. So it never happened. It never came to fruition, but I had a full, I had a full, never say never, but I had a full
Right.
camera crew in my kitchen at the time, and we filmed it. It was a 10 minute. So I still have the clip, which is pretty cool to
Get
say
out.
that you have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have that clip. So that was cool. Just an experience. Again, never heard from them, but again, it was such a cool experience, and to be able to do something like that. So that was cool.
And to be honest with you, I think the timing may not have been fantastic for that as well. Now with the amount of flavor she has and the options, even the packaging, everything is so much
Different.
and more advanced, if you want to say that, or just more decadent is probably a better word to say than what it was before.
Yeah,
Sharper, yeah,
there you
correct.
go.
And I think, if, like she said, never say never. If there was an opportunity again, I think it'd be much better timing for that.
Yeah. And then edible arrangements. Tell me about edible arrangements.
So it's funny. During one of our pop-up shops, we had a resident doctor come in, and to make a long story short, he came in. He was obsessed with the truffles, and he decided to take them to his mom in Nashville. I had no clue who the woman was. Never knew like what she was involved in. He took them. She was obsessed with them. She owned 4 edible arrangements in the Nashville area. And again, this was old packaging. We only had 6 flavors when we first started. Now we have 18. It is when, I had the partner involved. And then all of a sudden she's like, well, I want to send them to the CEO of Edible Arrangements in Georgia and Atlanta. I'm like, okay, so that's a great Christmas present. Yeah. So he had them. And then from there, we started having conversations with a gentleman who kind of, I guess, overseas. They have a line called Edible Treats. So if you go on their website, there's like popcorn, there's things that you can add to like the fruit. And we started having a conversation. He's like, well, let me send some truffles down to the CFO. And I'm like, okay. So we sent some truffles down to the CFO. Well, wouldn't you know it? I got a call from the CFO, but I got a call after that from another person down there that intercepted one of the boxes somehow and was reaching out to us about like, oh, this would be a great product. And I'm like, well, I'm actually already in talks with the CFO of the company. So we got to the point where we got to the compliance officer. And again, just not the right timing at that point. We were going to be in 30 of their shipping stores as long as we got in there. But because we didn't have the nutritional value yet, and we're still working on that, because they're obviously an international company, you have to have that for them to sell your product. But I think the main thing that came from that is I've always been at a place where I'm like, are they really good? Are they really that good? Like, do people really like them? And I think that was like, oh my God, they are. They really are that good.
Yeah.
So that was a huge boost, for me to think that.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I mean, in business, I feel like you get these victories or you get these challenges where you thought things were going well and you didn't get what you wanted, but you learned, oh, wait, these are some bomb truffles that I'm making. And it validates you and gives you the encouragement to go for the next goal,
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
no,
cool.
It's true. It's true. And again, you never know.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we are up against time. This has been awesome. I'm going to do something. I'm going to have a little more fun than usual. We've got 2 of you. Usually I ask people sort of what their preferred drink is, right? We're sponsored by Notch Modern Kitchen and Bar. They are awesome. They do these custom cocktails. And so I like to ask my guest, hey, if it's the end of the week, you've eaten as many truffles as you can, and now you're reaching for a drink, what drink do you reach for? But before you answer, Ryan, do you have a sheet of blank paper and a pen?
I do. And a pen.
All right. Can you write down what you think she's going to answer? I want to see how we do here. I don't usually have couples on, so I need to have a little fun here. Let me know when you are done, and then Brooke, as you're thinking, when he's done, let's hear your answer.
Okay.
I'm very excited right now. All right. Looks like Ryan's ready. So Brooke, end of the week, you're reaching for your go-to drink. What is it?
So I'm going to go with, I'm kind of cheating. I want to do 2. So I am a huge fan of a straight up margarita with a sugar rim. That's like a great drink. I like my tequila. Or I'm going to go with my Casamigos tequila with diet tonic and like a splash of lime or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed. What did we put?
Oh, you can't see it in there.
Get
Oh.
out.
With a
There we go.
because she started doing that.
Aperol, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I've never
I could be
used
a
this before, but
spokesperson
I'm
for
going to use it right now.
Casamigos, if anyone. Casamigos.
That is awesome. I mean, Brooke, congrats on getting this to the point where it's at. It is amazing. Truffle Bar sounds fantastic. I will be stopping by without a doubt. So congrats to you. Thank you for coming on the show. This episode has been wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the YMI Talking podcast. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more content from amazing personalities in the Valley, please subscribe, leave a rating, and drop us a quick review.